in this video, I just want to talk to you a little bit about how I got started, about how the wreath making and wreath selling online has really changed my life. So I wanted to come on here and inspire you, just to give you a little bit of my story, and to let you know how I got to where I am today. Okay, so that's what this video is. Starting out, figuring out how to make wreaths to where I am today. How did I get here? So if you're new to the page, I want to welcome you and click that little Facebook like button, or if you're watching this replay on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, or more information and more videos like this. So this is basically my story in a nutshell. Hopefully I can get to it fairly fast. I started selling online kind of as a way to get just appease my boredom, and just to basically bring in a little money so that I can keep making more of the pretty things, if that makes sense. So when I first started out, I was making wreaths for my own door, garlands, arrangements and stuff like that. I was a stay-at-home mom, still am, and the hubs was the only one working. So our money was tight. I mean, we barely had enough money to pay the mortgage and the bills and put food on the table. So we didn't have a lot of extra money to spend on wreaths or garlands or fancy Christmas trees, things like that. So with every new holiday, I was trying to figure out, how can I make these things myself? Because I can't pay for a designer, or I can't pay for, a really expensive whatever on Etsy or, online. I had to figure out how to make it myself, just so I could try to save money for the family. So I was bored. I thought, I could save some money. Why don't I just get into the habit of, making my own items? So I set out researching. I'm sure you did the same thing when you got into researching and learning wreath making or candle making or whatever you're making. I'm sure you did the same thing. You engrossed yourself in the situation. You started looking at everybody else's creations and you're like, I can do this. I know I can make this too. And so that's really how it got started. And so I just started doing it my own way, doing it my, looking at items and getting inspired and going out and trying it myself, and putting it on my door, hang the garland on my door, hang the wreath on my door, put the tree up in the window, things like that. Well, then the neighbors saw my creations and they were like, wow, that's really pretty. Can you make one for me? I'll pay you. And I'm like, what? They're going to pay me to make stuff that I'm having fun doing anyway. I mean, it was a great way for me to get over some of the boredom that comes with being a stay-at-home mom. It was a great way for me to also get away from, the hectic of being that stay-at-home mom where you're always having to deal with the kids and being around the kids. It was a way for me to escape from the stress of my life and be able to zone out and just have fun creating. And they want to pay me to do more of that. I was like, okay, that's weird. Hey, if they pay me, then I'll have more money to do more things for my house, more decorations and more of this and more of that. And so I really still, at that point, didn't see it as a way of an income. Does that make sense? I was still thinking it would be a good way to have fun with the hobby and make some money to buy more supplies, kind of thing. So I started making more, wreaths for the neighbors and posting some stuff on Facebook, and people would reach out to me. And somebody one day said, why don't you open an Etsy shop? And I'm like, what the heck is that? So that's when I took my craft from selling basically word of mouth amongst my neighbors and friends and family and put it online. Okay. I didn't know what Etsy was. I wasn't sure how to use it. But when I did get started with Etsy, I also went ahead and started a website. I didn't know that I didn't know I was just doing. I didn't. I had to do a lot of the research myself. I did a lot of reading online. I did a lot of reading on blog posts. I did a lot of conversations back and forth to the host provider for the website. I did a lot of research for Etsy. I spent a lot of times in forums reading, and trying to figure out this whole, selling online thing. I got where I started getting traffic to my website. And when you set up a website, there's things that you can put into place so that you know who's coming to your website and what they're looking at and what's popular, things like that. So I was looking, and a lot of traffic on a daily basis was coming to one style of wreath that I was making, a deco mesh wreath. Tons of traffic. All of the deco mesh wreaths people were looking at, there was not one that stood out more so than others. It was just across the board. And I was thinking, I'm getting a lot of people coming to my website, coming to look at these things, but they're not buying. Why are they not buying? You know what I'm saying? You start to doubt yourself, okay? When you start putting stuff out there and you get a lot of people coming and looking and not buying, you start to doubt yourself because you're new. I mean, you're excited, you want to sell and you want to make a business of this thing, and then people are coming, but they're not buying, and you get deflated. So I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of soul searching. I did a lot of self-doubt, struggles in my head. Why are they not selling? They're not good enough. They're not pretty enough. I also thought they're too expensive. People can't afford them. I need to lower my prices. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe people just don't want to buy. Maybe there's not a niche for this. Maybe the market's oversaturated, and it's just not going to happen. All of that went through my head. And then I did a lot of praying. And it dawned on me sitting in a church one day, listening to the pastor. I couldn't tell you for the life of me what the sermon was about, because sometimes when I'm in the pew, things pop into my head, and I'm like, that would be good for business. You know what I don't know. I'm never going to tell you I'm the perfect Christian, but that's just what happened to me that day. And it popped into my head that people aren't coming to buy on your website because they are also making the items themselves, and they're coming to you for inspiration. And I thought to myself, oh, so they're just interested in doing their own research, excuse me, like I was when I first started out, engrossing myself, doing all of the research, looking at all of the pictures. Back then Pinterest wasn't even around, but you know what I mean. You just overindulge. Nowadays, it would be getting into your Facebook groups, looking at everything there is about wreath making or candle making or cake decorating or whatever your niche is, all on the Pinterest, all on YouTube. You know what the deal is when you're a creator. So I was like, okay. So it's not me. It's not me. It's not what I've designed. It's not that they're disappointed. It's not that they can't afford. It's just that they are also inspired to create and make. Well, then I thought, well, man, I've got all these people coming to my website. How can I also generate income from them? And so I've got people who come and want to buy a wreath, but then I also have people come and they want to learn to make or get inspiration, and I don't have anything to sell them. What could I possibly do that I could sell them to inspire them and motivate them and encourage them to do exactly what I'm doing? So I did some more research, a lot of reading was involved, and I learned that I could create an ebook. So if you are not used to the word ebook or don't know what the terminology is, it stands for electronic, there's the E, book. So electronic book that you can read on your you can read on your computer, you can read on your mobile device, on your tablet, things like that. And I thought to myself, what if I wrote an ebook? What if I wrote an ebook teaching everybody about Deco Mesh, what it is, all of the different ways to use it, how to create wreaths, that type of thing. What if I did that? And so I did. I launched that, started making sales here and there, and it was really good because I got to teach other people basically what I had already learned. All that reading and stuff that I had done, researching my craft and how to market on my Etsy shop and all of that stuff that I had learned, I was now able to share my knowledge with people who had no clue of what to do. I mean, they were interested in learning how to make wreaths, and that was my Deco Mesh wreaths, and that was my goal, obviously, to teach them how to do that. But with that came also with my ebook comes tutorials and also the written ebook, but also a community of like-minded people. All of these Deco Mesh wreath makers are coming together, but they also were having problems, not getting the Etsy sales, or should they even try to sell, or how to use Facebook and how to create a Facebook page, and all of this stuff that I struggled with myself when I first started out. So I started just mentoring to them inside of the community. I'd give them tips for production, tips for creating a Facebook page, tips for SEO, tips for Etsy, things like that, tips on how I did my website. So all of that was starting to take place inside of this community, and it was really a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And it's still at that point, I wasn't taking my business seriously as a business. It was still a hobby, still fun, making money to buy more supplies kind of thing. And then one day, my husband lost his job. Now, he was the sole provider. Remember, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So he was a sole provider, and there he goes, gone. And that was pretty hard for the family. It was really, really scary. I was like, should I go back to work? I didn't know what to do. He's going to have to find another job. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I need to quit everything that I've been doing, and I need to go get a job. And I looked online. I went to a couple of interviews, and I was just praying, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I thought, well, if this one interview calls me back, I'm going to go to this job, because we need insurance. We need to pay food. We need to pay our mortgage. And, I was just panicking. And I didn't get the job. Well, they didn't even call me back to tell me I didn't get the job, so shame on them. But with my prayer and listening, when you pray, you have to listen, you guys. You really have to listen, because the Lord answers you in different ways. He could answer you in a pew at church. He could answer you in the scripture that you read in the Bible. He could answer you through what you overhear in a conversation. He could answer you in many ways. My answer came in an email subject line. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh yeah, right. I'm not lying to you, because you know what the name of the subject line said? Do not let your business fail. Or it was either do not let your business fail or do not let your business go. I think it was do not let your business go, because it triggered into me that, okay, I've been praying if I should let my business go. And here is an email. And I did a lot more praying. Literally, it was probably about another 30 minutes. It wasn't like days or anything. But that moment, I made the commitment. I'm not going to let this go. I'm going to now I have no excuse, nothing holding me back. I've got to jump in full force, all in, trying to get this business to grow. And so that's when I was able to devote a lot more attention to the ebook. I was able to start, learning more and growing, my business, and really trying to figure this out and setting my time of when I was going to actually do work and stuff like that. And but the one thing about when my husband lost his job, we couldn't go on our beach trip that summer. I remember sitting the kids down. The kids were young. We only went to the beach. That was our only vacation. We didn't travel, we didn't have the money, but we would save and come up with money to go to the beach every summer because it's literally like 2.5 hours away from us. And so I remember sitting them down and telling them, we can't go this year. We don't have the money. They couldn't understand in the little heads. We got to pay the bills. We got to do this. We've got to put food on the table. They were just devastated, because they had been looking forward to it. And I remember thinking and looking at their faces, that devastation, and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is sickening to my heart. What could I possibly do? What could I possibly do? And I said to myself, listen, I've got this ebook and I'm selling it. If I could just sell 27 more ebooks. At that point, I was probably selling maybe 8 ebooks a week, here and there, they'd trickle in. I wasn't really pushing it, but I thought to myself, if I could sell 27 of these ebooks this week, we would have enough money to go to the beach. And I thought, that's going to be very lofty, but I'm praying and I'm putting it in the Lord's hands. And I basically did everything that I learned all these years about marketing. I did it all. Everything I learned in the forums and online, and I just did it. I went out there. I did it scared. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. It was it was a hot mess. A lot of times it didn't work, but it started just a little by little, growing and growing and growing. And then that week, I not only sold 27 ebooks, I doubled that. I doubled that goal. And because of me getting out there and being more into my business, I sold way more pre-made wreath orders than I ever had that week. So, I'm not saying it was all me. I know I learned a lot, but it was definitely a God thing. I think it was a way for me to open up my eyes and see the potential. Not only was I able to make enough money to take our family to the beach, but I realized that this was an aha moment for me. This was seriously a way to make significant money with my craft, with my handmade products, with the knowledge that I have been learning and trying to teach myself. I now can educate other people. If I had never got to selling my wreaths online, if I had never gone down that path and done the research and done the, figuring it out for myself, I never would have known that there were other people interested in learning what I knew. In other words, I never would have known that people were interested in learning a deco mesh wreath. I never would have known that other people were wanting to learn how to sell wreaths themselves. I never would have learned that I too can help other people with their crafts. I never would have learned that I can make a difference in other people's lives with a basic wreath. A lot of you are making your items and you're like wanting to hide the fact, when you're at your parties and people are saying, what do you do? And you're like, I make wreaths. I just make wreaths. I only make wreaths. You don't understand. When you make your product and send it out into the world and somebody buys that, you change lives. I'm not saying you cure an illness or you're, not like a heart surgeon or anything, but you make a difference. You don't understand how your customers come home from a stressful day a day that they can't wait to get home, take off that bra, get that glass of wine, and enjoy not doing anything. So when they come home, they pull up to that door that you help them decorate. That wreath is on their door, that garland, that centerpiece is on their table. They look at that thing and they feel emotions. They feel relief. They feel a sense of pride. They feel something that they deserve to feel because they are working hard. They need to come home and deserve to feel that. I mean, just imagine when you go out and buy a Yankee Candle. How does it make you feel when you burn it? And I just wanted to let you know that you too can have that same thing with your own business, selling your own items to people. I never would have realized that had I not gotten online and started selling my wreaths. I also never would have learned that I too have another talent. You see, when you start getting started in your craft and your handmaking business, the Lord opens up other opportunities for you. The Lord opens up other talents you don't even know you have. So, for example, for me, I had no idea I was a teacher. I had no idea. I have a teaching talent. I have a motivational talent. I mean, I can inspire and motivate people. I had no idea I could do that because Lord knows I couldn't even motivate my own kids to pick up their crap. You know what I'm saying? So how was I supposed to know that if I didn't start reaching out and trying to explore one talent that the Lord had given me, which was wreath making or floral design or, home holiday decor. If I had not gone down that path of selling my wreaths, I never would have gone down that path of creating that ebook. I never would have gone down that path of trying to teach people how to also do what I've learned or motivate them or inspire them. I never would have learned any of that. I never would have learned about making differences in people's lives with my talent. So I just wanted to come on and encourage you that it sounds like I understand wanting to make money. I really, really do. I mean, gosh, we all have bills to pay, food to put on the table, the next mortgage is coming, that car payment's coming too, just like clockwork. I get that. I get that. But there's also a lot to be said when you get started in a craft of selling your handmade items, of just the lives that you can change. Now, one of the ways that I learned how to take my ideas and then, because you get to a point where you too, you want a community. You want also to, once you get excited and you learn about new ways of selling online and selling your items, you also are looking and still researching them. I'm always learning, always. And I came across Jennifer Allwood. Now, I don't know if you guys know her, but she started out as a painter, and she grew her business. She took her local painting business and basically put it online. So it was almost, I could resonate with her because I'm like, man, I took my wreath business local and I put it online. And so I started researching her and following her and following her. And I took her Creators Roadmap course. So it's a course where she basically taught me basically taught me the different ways. So, I told you that ebook was a way for me to generate additional income for my business or for my family and stuff. She taught me how to do even more different ways. There's like 6 to 8 different ways of generating other traffic, other ways of making money, other ways of making a difference in the world, other ways of getting out that idea that you have in your head that you want to share. Also opening up my mind to that, that it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? It's also helped me open up my mind that I could make a difference in people's lives with what I sell. Why can't we do that? Why can't we? Why can't we make a difference in people's lives, help other people, and make enough money to pay our bills? And so when I took that creator's roadmap course, I was very inspired. I did, of course, there was hard work involved. I mean, I went through the modules. I did and implemented what she told me to do. And here I am today. Here I am. So she's got, before I forget, she has got a free workshop coming up at the end of this week. So I'm going to put her link in here. It's a free workshop. It goes through some of what I'm talking about, and I'm going to pin that. And I just wanted to share it with you. It's free, okay? No harm in just checking it out. Go there. It's not started yet. It's supposed to open up later this week, her videos and stuff. And what you could do is just watch them. So every a few days she'll send you a new video, and it's just a workshop, to just walk you through the process and open up your heart and your mind to the power of online selling. Again, if I had not attempted my online sales, I never would have realized the power and the impact that I can make. Now, I just wanted to let you know too that it's not about the money. I never thought that it would be about the money. Yeah, I wanted to make extra money to go on that vacation. But I also, when I created that ebook, I was able to mentor and help change lives of people who had already purchased from me. So in other words, they pay me for the ebook, but then I gave them things, advice, tips, things that they didn't pay for. I was building up a super fan base and I didn't even know it. I was just being helpful. And so I wanted to really encourage you that I don't really think that you should always go into things thinking money. I mean, I know we have to pay bills and we have to sell the items that we're making and stuff like that. But you also need to realize that when you start to open up differently to your followers, to your customers, you start to create a sense of community. And the money thing is just almost a residual. It's almost an afterthought. I mean, so I don't want you to think that, yes, selling online does help make money, but if I didn't take my wreath making and sell it online, I never would have built the confidence that I have now. When you start putting yourself out there, it's a scary situation. You create wreaths or count candles or whatever. You don't know how you look or how you're going to be perceived or if you're going to be laughed at. It's a scary thing. So when I did that, I built confidence in myself. I opened the doors up to, the other talents that I spoke about, the teaching talent, the motivational talent that I didn't even know I had. I was able to position myself to become a leader in the industry. When I first started out, there were very few people who were making wreaths or really trying to teach people how to make wreaths. So I was able to position myself into becoming a leader, a motivator of women trying to make money with their crafts, and plus, I frankly established the flexibility of being able to work at home. I didn't get that job. I didn't go to that job that was 9 to 5. Thankfully, now I see it as a blessing that I didn't get it because I never would have gone down this path if I had gotten it. So now I have the flexibility of being home with the kids, additional income to help support the family, making a difference with, people that I'm reaching out to online all the time, motivating, inspiring, making a difference with those people who get my wreaths and hang it on their door and get to see it when they come home from a hard day's work. So I just wanted to encourage you, if you are on the fence about starting a handmade business, if you're on the fence about maybe you don't even want a business, maybe you just want to put yourself out there and start selling locally, don't wait, because you too can have doors open for you, talents revealed to you that you didn't know you had. All of this. I'm just a regular stay-at-home mom, didn't have a 4-year degree. I'm not anything special. it's can be all of yours as well. I mean, all of you can also do, I'm not saying have the exact same thing I have. I'm saying you're going to have your own thing. It's going to be even better. It's going to be your own thing, things that really resonate with you, doors that will open for you, people that you too will also inspire and change. You know, I'm just really, I can't say more about this. You know, just getting online has just transformed my life. Um, and I really just wanted to encourage you to consider it too, because I really think it could transform your life too. Let's see. I think that's it. So if you guys have any questions on what I said, let me know. Again, I'm going to put that link in here so that you can just take a look at it. It's a free workshop. It doesn't cost anything. And I don't know if you follow Jennifer Allwood, you could go over there and follow her page. She's just has always been very inspirational to me. I've learned a lot from her. Again, thank you for watching, and if you would take the time and after the end of this video hit the subscribe button, that will get you notified when I go live again on Facebook, and also subscribe if you're watching the replay here on YouTube. It will it will give you notifications when I do come up and do another video, which I try to do on a weekly basis. Julie, you're so amazing. Thank you for your encouragement. Oh, Christina, you're welcome. I am way too emotional to do what you do. I cry just listening to your messages. Pamela, oh my gosh, bless you. Listen, Pamela, you have so much to offer the world. The Lord has dropped those talents into your head. You know, I created that ebook based on my craft that I was implementing and learning to make. Listen, those ebooks don't have to be on that. It could be something you've learned in your 9-to-5 job. We had one lady in my inner circle. She made a bunch of Excel spreadsheets for her 9-to-5 job. And I was like, girl, you can make Excel spreadsheets and sell it to creative businesses, because we hate numbers. We hate spreadsheets. You have that skill. So I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be wreath related or candle related or cookie related. Whatever your craft is, it doesn't have to be related to that. It could be something that you've learned as a child. It could be you have your grandma's favorite recipes and you could create a cookbook. You know what I mean? With those recipes. Or it could be something that you have learned throughout the years with your 9-to-5 job, because I think a lot of us think that what we have to offer is basic knowledge. In other words, me plugging into that glue pot and putting the glue pan in, and when people, that's just a normal thing I do all the time. I mean, it's very basic. It's just a normal thing. And we take for granted that people come on and don't know jack about what we're teaching, what we're doing. They're fresh. They don't know anything. We're take for granted for what we know. So think about things that you have learned. It could be that you figured out how to master one of those tests that we all have to take, or you have to take in the field of study that you're in for your job. You know, it could be random things that we feel that we take for granted. Also, another clue of sometimes things that we could create for that passive income, that ebook idea, are ideas when people come to us and ask us constantly to do things. Hey, will you come organize my closet? Hey, will you come and make this cake for me? Hey, will you come and do this for me? You know, your family does it, your church friends do it, your brothers and sisters do it, your neighbors come and ask you for specific things. When we have that happen in our life, that is usually a good sign that that's a talent that God has given us, and we should explore it. So just think of that too. Doesn't have to be any of that. All right, so this is what Becky's saying. This is exactly what she needs, because wreaths are not popular in her area. First, you could move. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely get online. Becky, get online, because I don't sell to people in my state. Maybe one wreath every 3 months might be sold to somebody in my state. The other wreaths are sold all over the world. Not the world, I'd say the US. I don't ship to Canada. I don't even ship to Hawaii anymore. But they're just in the continental US, places to where they're used to paying more for milk and bread. So paying more for a door wreath is understandable too. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of get out of that localized area. You guys have a great day. I hope I inspired you. I hope I encouraged you. I'll be putting Jennifer Allwood's link in here so you can come back and check it out for yourself. It's a free workshop, all right? You guys have a great week.